Hello and welcome to the Capitol Report on NTD News. I'm your host, Melina Weiskup. Tensions escalating between Manhattan's District Attorney Alvin Bragg and House Republicans. Bragg is now suing Republican Congressman Jim Jordan. Bragg accuses Jordan, the chairman of the House Judiciary Committee, of trying to interfere in his case against former President Trump. Last week, Jordan subpoenaed Mark Pomerantz, a former senior prosecutor who worked for the Manhattan DA. The House Judiciary Committee wants Pomerantz to testify on his role investigating Trump and the Trump Organization. Now Bragg is seeking to block the House's subpoena. In a statement, Bragg called the subpoena, quote, an unconstitutional attempt to undermine an ongoing New York felony criminal prosecution and investigation. House Republicans say they believe the prosecution against Trump is politically motivated, and they are planning to visit New York for a hearing on Bragg's policies. And the Congressional Gang of Eight have now gained access to classified papers found at President Biden and former President Trump's homes. It comes after months of pressuring since Trump's home was raided by the FBI last August. NTD's Iris Tao has more.
A bipartisan group of top lawmakers is now getting access to the classified documents found at the private homes of President Biden, former President Trump, as well as former Vice President Mike Pence. It comes after classified documents were found at the homes or private offices of all three men. Lawmakers have been pressing for months now to get access to those documents, with some senators even threatening to block funding to the Justice Department in recent weeks. And it's not just Republicans. Some Democrats are also increasingly voicing frustration over what they call a lack of transparency on this matter. Watch.
We have a constitutional responsibility to see those documents, the classified ones, make a judgment whether the intelligence community did appropriate protection. And I am done with the lack of willingness for the administration to address this.
Democratic Senator Mark Warner is part of the Congressional Gang of Eight now granted access. The Gang of Eight refers to the top four leaders of Congress as well as the heads of the Senate and House Intelligence Committees. But before this, the Justice Department had initially rejected the committee's request to turn over the documents. And Attorney General Merrick Garland said last month that the department was trying to reach a balance.
We do have to balance the concerns of ongoing criminal investigations. But we also well recognize the oversight responsibilities and obligations of the committee.
The lawmakers insist they're not trying to obtain details of the investigations. Instead, they say they're trying to look into the national security fallout of classified documents not being stored properly. Reporting from Washington, D.C., Iris Tao, NTD News.
Meanwhile, President Biden has departed for a 4-day visit to Ireland. He's there to highlight his support for peace and to celebrate his Irish roots. He's also meeting with the UK Prime Minister and delivering remarks tomorrow. Staying on the White House, was the Biden White House involved in the FBI raid on former President Trump's Florida home? The America First Legal Foundation says it appears that either the DOJ or the FBI initiated an unusual request before the raid. The legal watchdog has been investigating the raid on Trump's Mar-a-Lago residence through Freedom of Information Act requests. A key component of the investigation is obtaining communications from the National Archives and records relating to the 15 boxes of records that were stored at Mar-a-Lago. The archives told Congress in August of 2022 that it hadn't been involved in the Department of Justice's criminal investigation or any searches. But now the watchdog says internal communications contradict that. It says the FBI obtained access to the records through a special access request from the White House. And now to look closer at this, we have an insider look at what America First Legal is actually trying to find here and why they say it's an important issue for them. Here's a look. Joining me now is America First Legal Senior Counselor and Director of Oversight and Investigations, Reed Rubenstein. Reed, your organization filed a Freedom of Information FOIA request with the National Archives and Records to obtain records related to the Biden White House's special access request for President Trump's records located at Mar-a-Lago. What's the point of what you all are doing here?
So we're trying to find out what the circumstances and reasons for the unprecedented FBI raid on the former president's residence are, and were. At the time we filed the request for records, nobody knew that there had been a special access request made. That is a term of art that relates to the Presidential Records Act, and it refers to typically it refers to a request by an incoming or a current president for access to ministerial or procedural records from a prior administration. Things like, for example, ethics policies or other things of that nature. What we had here, though, is something very, very different, apparently. If you remember, the justification or the explanation, I should say, given as by way of justification for what the FBI did was a referral from the Office of Inspector General for the National Archives. And there were representations made to Congress. But at no time did the archives or anybody else affiliated with this matter or process say that actually that there had been a request from the White House for the former president's records, and that the FBI was acting pursuant to or in response to such a request.
Your organization says that this suggests that the National Archives and Records Administration was misleading Congress about the White House's role in the Mar-a-Lago raid. Why is this concerning for you all?
Well, it concerns us because part of our mission is to ensure that there is government transparency and accountability. And if the National Archives was working with the Biden administration or simply to protect itself, by misleading the Congress with respect to providing information about what happened and what it is that led to this unprecedented and disturbing spectacle of the FBI raiding the home of a former president.
Thank you for your insight. America First Legal Senior Counselor and Director of Oversight and Investigations, Reed Rubenstein. Thank you for joining us.
Thank you.
Republicans continue to investigate the Department of Justice for allegedly targeting Catholics practicing their faith. Today, Senator Josh Hawley sent a letter to Attorney General Merrick Garland accusing him of lying at a hearing last month. Here's a clip of the statements Hawley refers to.
Attorney General, are you cultivating sources and spies in Latin Mass parishes and other Catholic parishes around the country?
No, the Justice Department does not do that. It does not do investigations based on religion.
Today, Hawley sent a letter to Garland saying the AG statements were false, as recent investigative findings by the House Judiciary Committee show. At the end of the letter, Hawley demands answers for 3 questions, basically seeking information on the DOJ's exact involvement in the alleged spying on American Catholics. This comes just a day after House Judiciary Chairman Jim Jordan subpoenaed FBI Director Christopher Wray. Jordan is seeking information in connection with an FBI memo, now withdrawn, that discussed the ways to infiltrate Catholic places of worship. The memo, obtained by Jordan and Representative Mike Johnson last month, showed that the FBI planned to use local religious organizations as new avenues for rooting out white supremacists.
Thank you for watching the Capitol Report. If you want to see our full broadcast, check us out at EpochTV.com.